All right, y'all, this is Our Take. This is Mark the moderator.
Thanks.com. The game is the game always.
Avery the process. Chuck Doc Rivers.
All right, so Avery, go back to that. Would you trade for a 31-year-old James Harden and mortgage your future?
Yeah, so by all accounts that I've read, just rumors. As we know, historically speaking, you have to give up a lot of picks in order to get somebody of this magnitude. And if you're not giving up a lot of picks, you're giving up a perennial all-star and you're giving up an all-star from your team, right? So the question is, somebody like Boston, who has a young enough team, do they mortgage their future, give up somebody like, let's say, Kemba, and all of those picks that they've acquired for James Harden? Does that put them over the hump? I don't know. Can they beat Milwaukee? Maybe, but I don't know. How much more difference is James Harden than what Kemba can do on a good night? I don't know. Can you play that way with Tatum and Harden? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think, if you want me to be very clear, I think that Boston has the better coaching situation, perhaps, to put Harden in. You know what I mean? I think that their coach, I think Stevens could probably put them in a little bit. He's more of an X's and O's guy. We don't know what the story is with Nash at this point. Nash just got some guys you're going to throw on the court that you're going to say, yo, win me some ball games. So we don't know. Go ahead, Mark.
Does X and O mean I'm failure? I'm just asking because, you know, when you
I don't know, because think about this. This is where I go back to this. Brad Stevens had issues with Kyrie Irving. You think that's going to be any different with James? You're bringing in 30.
But let's not act like that's. Let's not act like that's the same player, though. Come on,
right.
That's not fair to Harden. Kyrie's a special individual, and everybody's their own man. We've never really heard. I don't recall. Maybe you guys have, of hearing any issues with James Harden and coaching. Now, granted, he's been with D'Antoni, who pretty much let him do whatever he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't think anybody's going to really have an issue with that. Right. But I don't recall James Harden ever having an issue with any coach.
Right.
Because I could be wrong. And let's also look at the fact that we're saying a 31-year-old James Harden. This is not the NBA of the 1980s when you pulling up on 31 meant like you was close to the end of your career. James Harden should have like another 3 or 4 years at his peak. The way he plays ball, he's not a super athletic guy. He's not a high flyer. I think James Harden will be putting up these numbers for at least another 4 or 5 years.
So we could argue, by the way, but we could argue that James Harden is a pretty healthy guy. Like, he's not one of those guys that get injured. Like,
Let me ask you a question, though. Okay, because right now, today, name me 5 35-year-old players that are at their peak. 34-year-old players that are at their peak currently.
That's true. That's why
because the window closes. The window closes when you could be 31 and you look pretty good. But you add 24 months on to that, and the body starts changing. The body starts breaking down.
Well, this is true. I'm just going. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. When it goes fast.
That's all.
Some people, it's a little bit longer. I don't know. I know. We always LeBron is the exception to the rule, but I think guys are playing into their 30s a little bit longer now. And
playing yes,
34, 35.
Playing yes.
Dirk was damn near a pretty. But Dirk was what, 36, 37 when he left. Kobe.
Yeah, and
some of these guys that take care of their body, the nutrition and all that is different than the 1980s NBA when dudes was smoking cigarettes.
But there's a word which you use though, Banks. You use peak. You see, there's a difference that you are still in the league versus being at your peak, because that's a big difference. Rudy Gay is 33, 34, and he's not at his peak. There are guys that are not at their peak. They're Dwayne in the Wade league too. Still.
You think? Would you? Okay, let me ask you a question. Would you say James Harden would be at this level for another 3 years? If you had to guess right now.
No, Banks, I can't because
No,
again,
I'm just asking your opinion.
No, I got you.
I know what you're saying, but I'm asking your opinion.
But I will say this: it takes one injury in the next 3 years to just kill all of that. I mean, listen, because the body breaks down.
Well, true. You could be 25 years old and that can happen.
No, without a doubt.
That's just a risk that you're gonna have to take. It's all calculated risk.
But Banks, I see what you're saying. If I'm a betting man, I'm gonna tell you that at minimum I got 2 years, 3 years with James Harden.
Yeah.
If you're the Nets, Mark,
and is it worth it?
I'm winning this year.
In that 3 years, you won a championship.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. You're saying I'm trading for this guy. I'm winning right now. I'm not. There's no.
Listen,
I said
if you're going to mortgage the future, without a doubt, this is a must-win now move. If you make that move, it's a must-win move because you can't bounce back from it.
But I say this, in my opinion, in the East, looking at it for what it is, the Nets don't need James Harden. The Nets have enough firepower to.
We're going to have that conversation in a little bit. Just hold off on that. We're going to have that conversation.
Look at the tools. Look at the players. Because you're going to lose. Okay, what we know.
You're basing that over the Kevin Durant that left before his injury. So
that's
don't
true,
know the firepower they have.
That's true, Banks. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know the firepower they have.
That's what I'm banking it on. But if you were to ask me, for Harden, you ain't got Karis LeVert. You ain't got at least the next 2-3 first-round draft picks. You might not have Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay? So those.
You won't have Jared Allen.
And hold on. Also on top of it, looking like this, these guys have grown in their role with the absence of Kevin Durant. Spencer Dinwiddie thinks he's a bona fide star. Karis LeVert thinks he's a bona fide star. Y'all getting less touches on the floor with Kevin Durant. How are you going to be able to cope with that?
Less touches? You got Kyrie, Durant, and Harden. You get no touches. What are you talking about?
Hold up. And we forgot one major
those guys
thing.
are gone if Harden comes in.
Listen, and the major thing is you got a first-year head coach with a guy that has already dealt with dysfunction and has been questioned in D'Antoni. That could be great, or that could be an epic fail.
No, listen, it is a mortgage move. You're buying a house now. You're moving right in. It's no investment. It's no one renting.
You coming to the crib and saying, yo, is it ready?
Going in. But that's why I said, I don't know if Harden is the dude that I would mortgage the future on.
I agree.
Based upon a lot of things that we have seen. I don't think Harden is now, if you want to get a top player, I don't know if that's the dude to bring there.
But Mark, think about what we're saying. In a normal circumstance, a guy that drops a triple-double, would you even be thinking that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's the system that he plays in that makes us question.
But in a normal circumstance, he wouldn't even be available. In a normal circumstance, think about it, he wouldn't even be available. So there's something going on.
Bring superstars in all the time.
Right.
Something's going on. And even besides the system, you see the talent with James Harden. We all know James Harden can play. We may not like the way he gets it done, but James Harden can play basketball.
No, we don't like him in the playoffs. It's not that we don't like the way he doesn't get it done in the playoffs. That's where it all stops. It all changes in the playoffs. But now, let me go a different way, because if this is Harden trying to get a ring, and this is a push for him to say, I need to get a ring now, this is the move to make. Then I can understand the actual trade. But I don't understand Houston's side of it on making a deal, because here's the deal. You would put your franchise back at least 3 years if you make this move.
But it's Houston really unloading Harden and Westbrook, two guys that you have a lot of money tied into. They started with Clint Capella, right? And they're saying, this ain't going to work. Let's just reset this and cut our losses now and get some assets. We know we're not going to be that good. We got a brand new coach. Let's just start it from jump. That's what I think. Because,
let me help you out.
I'm going to tell you this. You got Westbrook and Harden, they're going to give that coach headaches all day.
But let me help you out something, Abe. If you trade Harden to the Nets, and the Nets is a good team, their picks that you will get back is going to be late-round picks. Okay, that's the first step. That's the first step. Second step is you have to look at something is that it takes any picks which you draft, it takes 3 years for them to even come to really grow. So now you're 3 years behind, and so I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. So you're basically punted on this season and next season for what?
Money, clearing that cap.
Well, basically,
They don't think they can win with Westbrook and Harden.
Right. That's basically what Houston is saying. Houston is saying we've reached the end of the rope with this. This experiment is not gonna. We're never going to get to where we want to get to with this set of people.
I would have to disagree because here's why.
Because Westbrook's your son.
No, nothing to do with that. No, basketball. Let's talk basketball. You set up a system that you have everybody that is 6'5" and under. How do you turn around and come back from that when you have no bigs? Okay, the system, you went all in on a system that didn't work. It has nothing to do with Harden, nothing to do with Westbrook. You got a system that the GM and the coach that really designed and set this system up is gone. So you're left with, hold on, wait a minute. Now, if you got a Westbrook and a Harden, if you bring in some decent guys, you do got a chance still. Because think about it, with a 6'5" lineup, they went to the second round.
Nah, Mark. No.
With a 6'5" lineup?
But Mark, okay, but listen, Mark, who they gonna add as a big? And who are they better than? All I'm saying is this: look at who the teams that they behind. If you're just looking at paper wise, right? If you're a Houston GM, you smart. You know you're not better than the Lakers. You know you're not better than the Clippers. Phoenix got better with the trade that they made. There's at least 3 or 4 teams that you know you're behind that. That you know that you're not necessarily better than. And it's not like you're gonna get some 6'10" dynamo where you fall out in the draft. How far are we gonna go with these guys?
Listen to what I just said, though, Banks. See, what I'm saying to you is this. If you have Harden, you have Westbrook, you could build around those two. You get rid of them, you have nothing to build around. That's all I'm saying to you. At least I have 2 cornerstone pieces that I can build with because I know that I got to the second round with a 6'5" and an under team.
Nah.
What are they contracts? It's also that's what you're looking at. These guys are aging. Your window is closing. I understand everything you're saying, but it's like they don't think they're gonna get past the Lakers. We tied up a lot of $2 monies in this dude, and we don't see us winning within the next 2 or 3 years. With LeBron still around, with AD still around,
almost $80 million.
Harden $50 million for 2 years for a year for 2 years. That means that you know what? We think that we can win with you. So once again, you might be saying that, but I'm solely going by what we have seen. Now I'm not sure that Houston feels that they can't win.
You're right to this point, and let me just correct. I'm gonna correct me and Banks. It's not Houston saying we don't want Harden. Let's be clear about that.
Right.
I think Houston's saying it may not work with Harden and Westbrook.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't think Houston's saying we don't want Harden. I think it's more Harden saying, nah, I'm good. I need to get this shit. Like, I don't want to be here. So I get that.
Right.
I get that.
So I'm not going to say that Houston has given up on it. I can't say that. All these rumors, we haven't seen it yet. But if Harden wants out, then that's him wanting to try and go somewhere else.
And you can't, listen.
Plus, they got a new coach.
John Wall and James Harden don't work. I don't even know what we're talking about here. Like, that don't even make no sense to me.
And you talking about a John Wall who hasn't played
John Wall in 2
years. He hasn't played in 2 years. But listen, once again, another rumor thrown out there that hasn't had any traction, no movement happened. So again, it's a lot of clickbait right now. So y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. This is Our Take. More to come. We'll be right back. Peace.
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 This is Our Take. 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 This This is our take.